It really depends on the student and it depends on what their disability is, but a lot of times it can affect their maybe ability to comprehend some of the grade level material, whether that be like big science words or things in history. Some students have high energy levels, so it's hard for them to maintain focus for a whole 90-minute class, so that can be kind of hard. Some of them struggle with spelling and writing, and so that can affect like their essays in English, and so they need some extra support with that. And then some of the students need things read to them or like a small group setting, but normally it's just, keeping some of them organized, making sure they get their things done, and then giving them whatever supports they need just to make sure that they can be successful in all their regular classes. Sometimes it depends on the student, the way that kind of we teach them. So like some students like visuals, they like to be able to see it or a picture or a diagram, to where other students may only like to have things like to where they can hear it and they'd prefer just to listen to somebody talk. Some people like hands-on activities where they can like feel and see what they're doing. So it really just depends on the student on how we kind of tailor our activities and what we teach, because each student's different. Probably seeing the kids succeed or their self-confidence going up, because a lot of times students with disabilities might have low self-confidence just because they do struggle in some aspect of school. So making them more confident in themselves, more confident in their abilities and what they can do, and then also giving them and helping them work towards goals after high school. So we do career planning activities, transition activities related to like budgeting and money management, even life skills like changing a tire, changing oil, things like that. So just getting them to learn skills like that so that they're more successful after they graduate. I don't know if it'd be misconceptions about my students in general, but just disabilities in general. A lot of people think that, well, they must not be smart, but that's not the case. Some of my kids are extremely bright. It's just maybe one area that they struggle in, or they maybe have ADHD and have a lot of energy, so it makes it hard for them to focus. But when they focus and get their things done, they make all A's or make A's and B's. So I think a lot of people might have the misconception that these are kids that, make all F's or have bad grades, and that's not the case. Most of my students do very well and have all A's, A's and B's, and, pass and do great and graduate. So, and they go off to college like everybody else. They can get a job after school like everybody else. So it's not necessarily something to where, they're not meeting the same goals that students their age are. They just need a little extra support to get there.
Well, some of my students suffer from ADHD, which means that they have trouble, focusing and paying attention in class. That sometimes if they're given a test or something like that, then they may not finish because their attention may be diverted to other things, and so they may need extended time to get things completed. Some of my students have issues with dyslexia or just a general disability with reading comprehension, so they may need to bring their work to me so that I can read it aloud to them. Which better helps them with with answering their questions. They also may need assistance with their writing and math. Some of them may have what's called dyscalculia, which they have trouble with their numbers, and it's kind of similar to dyslexia, but it deals with numbers, and so they have issues with that. Another issue might be dysgraphia, which is a disorder with their writing. So anything with handwritten assignments may need to come to me so that I can handwrite them for them, or I can type it out for them. One of the biggest misconceptions is that someone that receives services from my class, like academic support, is that they have a lower intelligence than other people. And that's not true at all. Just because you're in an academic support class really has nothing to do with your intelligence. It's just that you need some extra assistance because of your disability. So I have many of my students that are on all A or AB honor roll. So I think that's the biggest misconception, is that they're not smart or they're not intelligent, which is not the fact at all. My job is very rewarding. I spent 20 years in the classroom prior to this as an English teacher. and then this is my second year in special education. And I find this job so rewarding because I keep my students from the time they're a freshman until they graduate. And so I get to see their progress from when they come in as a ninth grader all the way through until they graduate. And I also get to form a special connection with them. I mean, most of my students and I, we have a very tight bond because I see them every day, all year long. So it's kind of like they're my children in a way. So it's rewarding because of that relationship, and I get to see, their progress over the years. Well, in my class, we try to focus on what can they do to improve, because each student has a goal. So it might be a goal in reading, it could be a goal in math, it could be a goal in written expression. So I kind of look at my class and determine, who needs, the assistance with the reading, who needs some more assistance with the math, and that helps me pick different items to help them meet their goals, as well as help them be more successful in the classroom. So that may be, that I have to break them into small groups, and I can work with a group with math. For example, in one of my blocks, I have a good many of them in geometry. So I may pull those kids together and we'll work together on some, geometrical concepts to make sure they understand. Then I may have someone else working, on a reading passage. I have some that are working on some research skills, especially dealing with career research and college research. So, I mean, it's something different every day in the class.
Well, it affects them in many different ways. They'll have different disabilities. Some are affected more in math, some in reading, some in writing. And so we try to work on all those areas. In my classroom, you have to really teach toward every individual's needs, and every student is different. So that's why we have individual education plans for every student to have goals for what their needs are. I don't know. I think, everybody really, if you look at it, has a disability somewhere. Everybody, no matter, whether you're in this classroom or program or not, everybody has problems learning and doing things. And just that some students have a little more than others, and they just need a little extra help. Is pretty much all it is.